Hey, Jeff, we just had Danny on here a little while ago. What do you expect, or what are you planning on going forward here with him? I mean, what is the plan? Is it basically how he feels night to night, or what? And performance, obviously, I suppose.
Yeah, a lot of it's, performance based on where we think he's at health-wise. We got, some glimpse of where we thought he was at in the last game, and we'll get a little bit more feedback here this game. And as he gets challenged more and more, we get to see kind of how his body's responding, and if ultimately we think his body's responding to a point that puts him into our top six, then he'll play. And if it's something where he's still not, close enough to 100%, and there's six guys that I have ahead of him, then we'll do what we did for a bit, and he'll keep trying, get stronger with it. When Danny's healthy, I think he's one of our best defensemen, but he's not 100% right now, and so we're just evaluating to see, whatever the percentage is, how it manifests itself on the ice.
Did you kind of expect it going into this season? This could be, maybe some peaks and valleys with him just because of the surgery, obviously the nature of the surgery.
We knew it was a possibility going back to last year. The nature of the surgery can take up to 2 years to heal, and sometimes it never heals fully. And so we knew it was a possibility, but I would say throughout the course of the summer, I had high hopes that Danny would be 100% come the camp. And as I got into November, December, I realized he wasn't going to be. I didn't know what that meant until we kind of got going for real. And, and once we got going for real, it was apparent to us as a coaching staff that he wasn't nearly at 100%. So he's worked his way to try to get there. I think his numbers in terms of a lot of things that we evaluate off the ice are getting closer. They're certainly not even maybe to the norm of players on our team, so they're still behind, but he's moving in the right direction, which is a positive.
Sounds good. That's all I need. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll go to Trevor Thompson from Fox Sports Detroit.
Good morning, Blash. Talking with Matthias Bromé after he scored the other night, he made reference to the fact, he said, I'm not young anymore, and I've been through this before, and he talked about a 13-game goalless drought he had back in Sweden. So just from the standpoint of having an older player who's had some experience under his belt, how invaluable is that for a guy who is expected to put up some production numbers and might struggle out of the gate?
As he came over here, we didn't know exactly where Matthias fit in, first of all. And so, we felt potentially he could help add some depth scoring. We didn't necessarily say, okay, he's going to be a top six guy. We thought, potentially in the bottom six, he could help add some depth scoring and then see where it goes from there. I think his maturity and the fact that he's been through experiences before, and he's not a young player, even though he's a new player to the league and to us, has helped him. I think first of all, his game's complete. I think he can help your team win without producing. And I think we've had other guys in that boat. But ultimately, you need production. There has to be some production out of our team and more production. And I'm hoping that, the lessons he's learned from the past have helped him persevere. And hopefully he can take the goal he scored and really get moving with it and help start to produce more. So we'll see. But certainly I think it helps that he's been through lots of it, and the ups and downs and of what comes with an NHL season, he's handled well.
He's got a big smile and it seems like a really good attitude, but we don't get to get next to guys in the room and have these same conversations anymore. So just give us a glimpse of what you've seen as far as his personality goes and his makeup that way.
I would say he seems to be, I don't want to use the word easygoing because he's highly competitive, but he is, the sky is blue most days in his world, and good for him. And that's, probably a really good quality for humans to have. And he has it. I think generally his outlook on life is good. And the one thing he hasn't done is worried about things that he can't control. I healthy scratched him a few games, and, he didn't let it bother him. He just kept kind of being the same Matthias Bromé, to be honest with you, and kept working and competing and waiting for a chance to get back in. And when he did, he's played fairly well.
On the Nashville side of things, they're not having the season they had hoped to have. And now some trade rumors around their team. What kind of effort or what kind of team are you expecting to face here tonight with the adversity they're going through? And thanks for this.
Trevor, I tend to stick to our own team and looking at our own team and where we're at. I know they've got a great coach over there in John Hines. I know they've got a number of good players. They're missing some really good players. They might get some of those guys back. I think when you miss players in this league, you don't have the same team as if you don't miss them, so it affects you. Ekholm's a big piece of that, I think, and he is not going to play, I don't believe, tonight, and he's a big piece of it. He's a really good player, so it'll be like almost every night in the league. It's going to be a hard game, and for us to put ourselves in position to win, we have to be at our best. We can't come at an 80% effort, a 90% effort. We need to be at our best every night for us to be in position to win, and then we got to find ways to win those games. So we got to make sure we're ready to go.
Next up, we'll go to Max Bultman from The Athletic.
Hey, Jeff, you were talking the other night about Filip Hronek, and I was just curious, where have you seen growth from him? As he gets close to this 150, I think is kind of a ballpark number people sometimes use for a defenseman to get comfortable in the league. Where are you seeing kind of growth and progress from him?
I think probably honestly just from his maturity level in terms of how he handles frustration. He's a highly competitive person, and we all want that. We'd rather have the highly competitive people that you have to help learn how to control it than those that you have to prod. So I think he's a highly competitive person that's had to learn how to keep his emotional control. I don't know that he'd say that, but I think that's the case, and I think he's learned it over time. I think he's much better at not getting distracted by things he can't control, like refereeing. I think he's much better at kind of working through it. And he's still learning. He's a young kid, but he's still learning, and he's getting better at it. I just think his attributes are. He's got a good skill set, but he's highly competitive.
And what do you think it is that's allowed him to, early in his career, take such a heavy workload? It's not always the normal path to take as big a role, I guess, as he's gotten early on.
Well, I think sometimes workload is based also on the group, and he's been a guy who's emerged as one of our best players, and so then you get a greater workload. I don't know what that would be like on other teams. I have no idea. It's hard to say. I think again, from where I stand and from where I think our coaching staff stands, it's the competitiveness, and he finds. And what does that mean? It doesn't mean that you just run around, cross-check guys, stuff like that. It means that you're winning all those little battles. Like, he wins tons of stick battles. He finds ways to get stick on puck. Is he without mistake? No, he's got to keep cleaning up mistakes in that. But he does a lot of really good things. He's a pretty good all-around defenseman. When he's on his game, I think he's got poise with the puck, and he's doing a real good job moving the puck. I think he's a threat from the offensive blue line, a threat jumping in the play, and he's highly competitive and finding ways to win pucks.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yep.
All right, that's all for us this morning. Thanks, everybody.